something shocking just happened. Red Lobster, the seafood giant that once dominated the restaurant industry, has filed for bankruptcy. This is the same Red Lobster that introduced millions of people to seafood, made those famous Cheddar Bay biscuits a household favorite, and had locations packed with customers for decades. But now, stores are shutting down, employees are losing their jobs, and the company is drowning in debt. How did one of America's most iconic restaurant chains crumble so fast? The truth behind Red Lobster's downfall is more shocking than you think. From a disastrous real estate deal to a marketing blunder that cost them millions, this is the untold story of how Red Lobster went from thriving to barely surviving. Red Lobster's journey began in 1968 when Bill Darden opened the first location in Lakeland, Florida. His vision was bold, yet simple: make high-quality seafood affordable and accessible to the average American. At the time, seafood was mostly reserved for people living near coastal areas, and dining out for seafood was considered a luxury. But Red Lobster changed that. With a menu filled with fresh seafood at reasonable prices, it quickly became a hit among families and seafood lovers. By the 1980s and 1990s, Red Lobster was unstoppable. The chain expanded aggressively across the United States and even into international markets. Its restaurants were welcoming, its seafood options were extensive, and its service was designed to appeal to middle-class diners. But one of its biggest attractions: the legendary Cheddar Bay biscuits. These buttery, cheesy biscuits became a fan favorite, drawing customers in and keeping them coming back. Beyond great food and branding, Red Lobster also led the way in seafood sourcing and sustainability. It partnered with fisheries to ensure a steady supply of fresh seafood, making it one of the first restaurant chains to emphasize responsible seafood sourcing. This gave it a major advantage over smaller seafood chains that struggled with consistency and supply chain issues. At its peak, Red Lobster boasted over 700 locations and was generating billions in annual revenue. However, as the restaurant industry changed, so did consumer habits. Fast casual dining and food delivery services were on the rise, and Red Lobster started to feel the pressure. While competitors like Olive Garden and Outback Steakhouse adapted, Red Lobster struggled to evolve. Behind the scenes, poor business decisions and corporate shakeups were creating cracks in its foundation. Those cracks would only get bigger, leading to a series of missteps that would eventually push Red Lobster into financial disaster. So, what exactly went wrong? Let's break it down. By the 2000s, the casual dining industry was changing. Consumers were looking for healthier, fresher, and more convenient dining options. Fast casual restaurants like Chipotle and Panera Bread started gaining popularity, offering high-quality food without the long wait times of traditional sit-down restaurants. At the same time, Red Lobster faced increasing competition from other seafood chains and even grocery stores, which began offering higher quality seafood options at lower prices. The company struggled to modernize its menu and adapt to changing tastes. Another problem was Red Lobster's pricing strategy. While it had originally been known for affordability, rising seafood costs forced the restaurant to increase menu prices. This made it less attractive to budget-conscious customers who started looking for cheaper alternatives elsewhere. As Red Lobster's sales slowed, the company needed a new strategy to stay competitive. One of the biggest turning points in Red Lobster's downfall was its sale in 2014. Darden Restaurants, the company that owned Red Lobster, sold the chain to private equity firm Golden Gate Capital for $2.1 billion. At first, this seemed like a positive move. The sale gave Red Lobster access to fresh capital, which could have been used to improve its menu, update restaurant interiors, and invest in better marketing strategies. But there was a catch, one that would become one of the most damaging financial mistakes in the company's history. As part of the sale, Golden Gate Capital sold Red Lobster's real estate properties in a deal known as a sale-leaseback. This meant that Red Lobster no longer owned the buildings where its restaurants operated. Instead, it had to lease them back at increasing rental rates. One of the biggest factors behind Red Lobster's downfall was constant leadership changes. Since 2014, the company had gone through 4 different CEOs, each with a completely different vision for the brand. One focused on premium seafood options, trying to elevate the restaurant into a more upscale dining experience. Another pushed for aggressive discounting to attract budget-conscious customers. These constant shifts in direction confused both employees and customers, making it difficult for Red Lobster to maintain a clear identity. At the same time, competitors were staying focused. One of the final blows to Red Lobster was its 2023 Endless Shrimp promotion. This was supposed to be a marketing campaign that attracted more customers by offering unlimited shrimp at a low price. However, the promotion quickly spiraled out of control. The company underestimated how much shrimp customers would consume and how much it would cost the business. Instead of boosting profits, the campaign led to huge financial losses. Customers flooded Red Lobster locations, taking full advantage of the all-you-can-eat deal. With seafood costs already high, this promotion only worsened the company's financial situation. What was meant to be a strategy to bring in more customers ended up pushing Red Lobster further into debt. While other restaurant chains embraced digital transformation, Red Lobster fell behind. Competitors like Chipotle and Domino's invested heavily in online ordering, mobile apps, and loyalty programs, making it easier for customers to place orders and stay engaged with the brand. These companies saw massive success as digital convenience became a priority for consumers. Red Lobster, on the other hand, remained stuck in outdated business practices, failing to recognize the shift toward digital-first dining. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed these weaknesses even further. As restaurants were forced to shut down dining rooms, those with strong online and delivery systems thrived. Red Lobster, however, struggled to transition to a takeout model. With no seamless app, slow website ordering, and minimal partnerships with delivery services, it couldn't keep up. Customers who once dined in simply turned to competitors with easier, more convenient options. By the time Red Lobster finally started investing in digital strategies, the competition had already moved ahead. Instead of leading in innovation, it was playing catch-up, desperately trying to implement changes that other brands had already mastered. In the fast-paced restaurant industry, being late to the game often means losing the game entirely. By 2024, Red Lobster had reached a breaking point. After years of financial struggles, leadership changes, and poor strategic decisions, the company filed for bankruptcy. At its peak, Red Lobster had over 700 locations. Today, only a fraction of those remain open, and more are closing every year. The bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean that Red Lobster will disappear completely. Some locations may remain open under new ownership, and there is always a chance for a turnaround. But one thing is certain, Red Lobster's fall serves as a warning to businesses in any industry. Poor management, failure to adapt, and financial missteps can bring even the most beloved brands to their knees. What do you think about Red Lobster's fall? Do you believe it can make a comeback? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into business failures and successes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.